I'm Harrison101 and welcome to episode 6 of our MotoGP 14 career mode Let's Play. Been about a week since I last recorded anything for this episode, and we've got a lot of news to catch up on actually. But in the meantime, I want to say thanks to everybody who made the suggestions on what I should make my Team Calvo gear look like. I think it was Daniel Chantry, I think it was, and Gone Too Far, who both suggested yellow. I thought, actually, it's quite a nice look, actually. So we'll go with the yellow. It sits with the Jamaica theme quite nicely. So thanks to everyone who made that suggestion. Appreciate it. Okay, let's move on real quick. If you missed the last episode, you can see I was with Team Calvo. And also, I had some clarity produced on the Assen result. It turns out I looked back at the tape-in and I actually saw that I only was awarded 20 points for what had happened at Assen, where me and Fanati crossed the line at the exact same time. On the timing screens it said 0.0, and yet somehow the screen said I was given the win, but in reality Fanati apparently crossed the line first. Some kind of weird glitch in the game where it says, you can see on the screen right there, that it says I finished in first, but I actually was only awarded 20 points. Thanks for that, game. Really appreciate it. Also, this is the first video I've recorded with the updated patch on PS3 and 4, so we actually have the entire 34 bike field for the first time, which should make things interesting. Especially given that the next round is at the Saxon Ring. Oh, good. I.e., the shortest track we go to. It's like an 85-second lap around here, and I've got 3 laps to get through the entire field. This could be a difficult one. But yeah, only given 20 points for the win, even though I technically won the race. Thanks, game. Much appreciated. Right. Another day, another Calvo race. And yeah, let's talk about a little news, shall we? Just this morning... just this morning, it was revealed that Danny Pedrosa has signed a 2-year extension with the Repsol Honda team. To keep him there until 2016, or the end of the 2016 season. Which I thought was interesting. I thought, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But the thing with that is that I saw that Pedrosa got a lot of hate. Especially if you go on MotoGP's Facebook page and you read the comments on the post, some of them are genuinely very violent and full of vitriol. Saying things like, you know, that, oh, it's pathetic, and Honda are leaning towards Marquez, and just generally speaking, a lot of hate and nasty things said about Pedrosa, which obviously I don't agree with at all. But it does bring up an interesting debate of, when do you cut loose with a guy? And Pedrosa's done 9 years with that team and not won a world championship.
Hello from the Saxon Ring, and welcome to our live co.
It's certainly one to get people talking. I'm not sure whether I agree with the whole Pedrosa deserves to be sacked for not being good enough argument, to be honest. Okay, here's how I see it. Like, Pedrosa has been very unlucky not to have won a world championship, in my humble opinion. He's been with that team for 9 years, and in that 9 years, he came in as a rookie, I think 2006, and that was the year that Nicky Hayden won the world championship. And to be honest, Hayden was a little bit lucky himself, but I don't think anybody was expecting Pedrosa to win the Champions Rookie year. Like, I don't think people had that kind of expectation. However, since then, he's had to deal with Casey Stoner being on a dominant Ducati bike. He's had to deal with Valentino Rossi still being ridiculously good. He's had to deal with a team that had 3 bikes at one point, with Andrea Dovizioso being the Repsol Honda rider. It had to do with Casey Stoner joining and being better than him. And now, you know, Jorge Lorenzo winning on the Yamaha. He's made that Yamaha team his own. And now Marc Marquez, who might be the best and more talented the sport's ever seen. So, Pedrosa's been, I think, in my opinion, very unlucky over his career not to win at least one world championship. He's been a consistent top guy for the last 8 or 9 years now. I mean, I think he's finished. He's finished second in the championship, I think, on 3 occasions. I think he's been a runner-up, and I think 2 times he's finished in the top 3 as well. So it's not like he's been terrible or anything. I just think there's been guys in the division that have been a little bit better, which is just really unfortunate because he's been dropped in the middle of what's been one of the most loaded fields in the sport's history. But there's other things you kind of have to weigh up and consider. Like, for example, you've got to look at things like, do you want to give Pedrosa a chance, or do you want to give a younger rider a chance? You know, you see guys like Alicia Spargaro, who's been rumoured to have been joining that team, and Spargaro has already come out on the record and said that he wants a factory chassis next year. He wants a 5th Yamaha M1 to try and support him. You know they have the NGM4 with the Yamaha team have a factory engine in them. Like, they have the Yamaha's factory spec engine in the bike now, but they still haven't got a factory chassis. That's still lagging behind for them. And you know, the 4 Yamahas they give out, the other 2 go to Tech 3. You know, Bradley Smith and Paul Espargaro's team. So it's a difficult one, really. It kind of comes down to what the team's dynamic is. Like, do they want to upset the apple cart too much? It's like, do they really want to have 2 guys scrapping for the title? You know, do they really want that, or are they okay with having a number 2? Because Pedrosa's always been consistently good. He's never truly been consistently great. But what Pedrosa did always do is that he always scored good points. I mean, last year I think he had 300 points last year again. And, like, in terms of the Constructors' title, which is obviously more important to a team like Repsol, that's a great thing to have. So, it comes down to what your dynamic is, really. Like, do you want a number 1 and a number 2 guy? Do you want another way of looking at it? I mean, it's difficult to say, for sure, really. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's a difficult one. As we go down the inside of Rins and Miller. Oh, yes! How's that for a pass? That's nice. We're in the lead. We might finally get our true first win, which would be pretty sweet. But yeah, as I saw a lot of, you know, as well as hate, some pretty intriguing comments as well along the lines of, you know, give the younger talent a chance, or my response to that is that the team's not obligated to do that. Like, Pedrosa, I know, is 28 years old now, and he's a veteran in MotoGP terms. I mean, he's done 9 years with the same team, which is an incredible feat as it is. I mean, that's unheard of in the modern day MotoGP. I don't think even Rossi never did that kind of time with any team. Did he, Ryan? No, never. I think he never did like more than 4, I think, at the same time with any given team, I think, roughly. Could be wrong on that one, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. He always switched things around a lot, and he kept trying to align himself with the best bike because he was Rossi, he was the best rider, so he could do that. It's not like a team was going to knock it. It's not like a team was going to knock him back. But the Pedrosa one is certainly interesting. Like, don't get me wrong, I would like to see other guys get a chance, because like I said, I've always said Alicia Spargaro is the best of the midfield riders, and I think he deserves another chance. I think Dovi's not coming back. I think he's been blackballed a little bit because of his last one. But yay, we got our first win! Hooray! Suck it! Finally, some justice. Jack Miller second, Alex Rinsford, because he's got the full grid in there now, so it's a lot more realistic. Jack Miller second, Alex Rins third, Alex Marquez fourth, Romano Fenati there in 5th, Efren Vasquez 6th. Lovely. Right, up to 4th in the championship now. 79 points off the top 2. It's going to be a bit of a reach to win the title this year, I reckon. We'll have to wait and see. 80 points. Nothing probably unlikely, but we can certainly get third at least. But yeah, talking more about the whole Pedrosa thing as well for a little bit longer. Again, it's bound to get people talking. I've always said I think Spagro is the best of the young talents.
He deserves these
not,
celebrations with
Pole
his mechanics cheering him on.
But Pole's
He
got a
dictated
Yamaha
the rhythm of
contract
the
as a
race.
factory
No one
rider, so
can keep up with this serious.
you know that's not going to be an option. Stefan Bradl's an interesting one because Bradl's been good for LCR, but not particularly great. Again, it's not the Repsol Honda chassis, so it's not really the same. So he's going to be a little bit weaker than Marquez and Pedrosa and whatnot. But again, you know, we'll get that'll get some people talking for sure. Let me know what you think. Do you think Pedrosa should have been kept? Do you think they should have been let go and tried to move on? And if not, who would replace him? Because it's not that there's a lack of midfield talent around at the moment. I mean, we've got guys like Alicia Spargaro. We've got guys like Alvaro Bautista, Stefan Bradl. There's a lot of good guys out there. So you know, there's a lot of reason to debate this kind of thing. Right, on the calendar next. Why this game takes a little bit of a while to load up. Wow. Oh, there we go. It was freezing for a second there, and I have no idea why. Right, next up, Indianapolis. A brand new layout for Indianapolis as well this time around. MotoGP goes back to America. It's weird as well that the MotoGP focuses so strongly on the US. I've always found that a bit weird, but the US are quite keen on their cycles, even though they've now got rid of Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca making way for Argentina this year, as people on Twitter seem to, you know, quite aggressively remind me, like I didn't know or something. I won that one fairly easily, to be honest. Let's up the difficulty. We're going up to hard. Let's see how that one works out. Should still be a bit of a challenge considering that there's 33 other bikes on the field, but still. Let's talk about Laguna Seca. You know, making way for Argentina. Back then there used to be 3 American tracks on the calendar. They had Indianapolis and the Circuit of the Americas now too, down in Austin, Texas. So, which I think is my favourite track in the game for MotoGP now. I love the Circuit of the Americas. It's really grown on me. Also, Gillen tweeted me about 4 times during the space of that last Grand Prix. Let's see what he tweeted me real quick. So then I quote, they're doing a Red Bull now, keeping a driver or rider on just because. Pedrosa has not raced like he deserves a top ride this season. If Red Bull had Webber this year, they would have missed out on loads of crucial points. That's speculative, really, isn't it?
Hello, we're joining all you racing fans live from the Indianapolis circuit.
I said to him in response that, you know, you just speculating with Webber argument and that basically Pedrosa's equal second in the championship right now with Rossi. I mean, is that not good enough? Gucci's response was, granted, but the Honda bike is pretty amazing. I just feel like they should be searching for the next Marc Marquez. Pedrosa will never beat Marc over a championship, so surely there's better riders out there. Well, it's a fair point, but the thing is like, do they want to look for the next Marquez? They don't have to look for the next Marquez. They already have him. You know, like I can't help but shake the feeling of the setup that Honda have got right now is pretty good. They have Marquez as their leading guy, who is the best in the world right now, without any doubts. And behind him, they have a guy in Pedrosa who inadvertently, or deliberately or not deliberately, is a fantastic number 2. You know. Whoa. My screen actually gave out for a second there, so I'm using flashback. My screen was black, I went white. My TV cut out for a second. So I'm down a wasted flashback already. This could be difficult. There's a lot of traffic on here. Whoa. Whoops, accident. Just the wheels down. But yeah, like I said, you know, should they be looking for another Marquez? Like, Pedrosa is, you know, a more than serviceable number 2. Through no fault of his own deliberately. You know, they're not deliberately saying, you know, Pedrosa support Marquez. But what they're blatantly doing here really is just saying, well, Pedrosa isn't as good. Should they be trying to find the challenge? Like, I think it's one of those moral argument kind of things, you know, they're saying basically like, you know, oh, you know, they have a moral duty to us, the fans, to employ the best possible riders and having a more exciting fight. Because a lot of people are calling MotoGP boring right now because of Marquez, when I think that's simply not true. When you consider the fact that half the races this season has been very exciting, like Catalonia was fantastic, Assen produced all kinds of drama, Mugello, it was Marquez versus Lorenzo from bell to bell. So, you know, I can't help but shake the feeling of, well, has it really been boring? Like, is a dominant guy bad for the sport? Nobody bitched when Rossi was up front, you know. So why should we do the same with Marquez now dominating, who's also a very nice and very likable fella? I can't help but shake that feeling of, I think we, you know, I kind of feel like we, you know, we're fighting for something we don't really know what we want a lot of the time. And I think there's a lot of fan entitlements out there. Like, oh, you know, Marquez must have a challenge of some kind. We all growing up as Formula 1 fans around here, thinking like, you've got to have a competitive championship to make it more exciting. Like, the only reason people haven't called this season boring in Formula 1 is because Rosberg's actually provided a decent amount of challenge to Hamilton so far. Or the Sids will just say that, oh, Marquez has had, you know, Rosberg's had all the mechanical issues that Hamilton has had this season. You know, well, you know, one. Like the Australia and now the Australia argument cancels all that out now. Australia engine failure that Hamilton had. Whoops, got a bit wide there. Like, oh my god, I'm not doing that in 20th place, that's not good. Marquez leads for Rins. Pushing it a little bit too hard for this bike actually, getting distracted. There. But yeah, like I said, just overall, I mean, like Honda owes us nothing. Like, they're not obligated to employ riders. Like, saying like, why would you be trying to find the guy that beats the guy that's already winning you everything? It doesn't make any sense when you've already got him. Like, keep Pedrosa around as a backup. You know, he's a very serviceable, inadvertent number 2, like I said. The other side of on the other side of MotoGP, Valentino Rossi signed a 2-year extension with the Yamaha team, meaning he'll be on the field until 2016. Meaning that he'll be in his 21st season in 2016. He'd have been on the grid for 20 years in the top overall. And I think something like 80 of that in the top class. That is ridiculous. A true testament to just how unbelievably amazing that man is. And I'll be honest, I said before, as a motorsport enthusiast and as a, you know, aspiring journalist in the field, I've always said it. I said Rossi was finished last year. And I look back at now and I think, how wrong was I? Like, that's the biggest whiff I've ever had as an aspiring journalist, thinking that Rossi may have been done last year. Like, he looked slow and all that, and he was constantly finishing in 4th place. But look at him now. Joint 2nd in the championship at the age of 35. And, you know, giving everyone a good race for their money and destroying his teammate Lorenzo. Which has now got a lot more people talking about Lorenzo. Like, is he going to get an extension now? Because his contract's up at the end of the season. You know, the whole fact that Pedrosa's signed for Honda now has kind of limited Lorenzo's options. You know, Honda's not going to take him on now, for sure. So now what do you do? like, do you go to Ducati and give them a boatload of money and say, maybe I can make it work? I'll wait and see on that one. But, you know, that was awful. 18th place. Yeah, it looks like I'm not ready for the hard difficulty just yet. I thought I'd give it a chance, but it looks like medium.
Our director will be taking us to Park Ferme shortly to watch the celebrations on the podium.
Oh well, Alex Rins wins, Jack Miller second,
final position.
Alex Marquez third, Romano Fenati fourth. Well, it's not totally the end of the world, but I think that pretty much rounds off any chance I have of winning the championship now. But, what can you do? The field is definitely a lot faster at that difficulty, and to be fair, I didn't exactly ride that well either, so I can kind of see why. My first donut in a race as well, that's not pretty. But yeah, I mean, Rossi more than deserves he more than deserves another chance for sure. He's earned it, given how well he's ridden this season, for sure. Ooh, hello. Let's see who wants to take me on. A lot of Moto2 teams are sniffing around. Here's how I see it. I'm 94 points behind Miller in the Moto2 Championship. What's the point of me sticking around in this category, knowing I'm probably not going to win the championship? That's what I'm thinking about right now, because there's some decent teams offering around seats here, like Caterham, the SAG team, the APH Calex team. Nothing in MotoGP yet. So it's Ioda, Tech 3, the AGR team, that's Nico Tirol and Jordan Torres, I think. Moto2, it's the Federal Oil Suited bike. I think that's, Team Zero, Team Rossini. Or I stick at Moto3. You know, Mark VDS offering a seat, San Carlo, Team Italia, Interwitten, Ambrosio, Saxo Print, the Red Bull team I was eyeing up earlier, the junior Grassini team, and yeah, Sky want to bring me on, and Red Bull as well, and the Galicia team for Marquez and all that. Tough. It's tough because it's pointless me sticking around in this tier really, because I'm 94 points off the top. It's going to be near impossible for me to make up, even if I clean out the rest of the division this season. I'm going to go to Moto2 anyway. Let's make it a full series and do a full season with them. So let's go with the Sky Racing team on this one. I like those guys a lot, so if things stay as they are, I might get that seat after their next season, basically. Because that was a bit of a disappointing race. We'll do three races in one episode. We'll triple up. Let's go to Brno. Brno is, generally speaking, the halfway point of the season as well. One of the more established tracks on the calendar. I really don't like it though, to be honest. But what can you do? Okay, start race. We'll go back to medium because I'm clearly not ready for that yet, unless I qualify as well, which I might do in the higher difficulties. Make it more of a realistic series, but for now, we've got to get through this stuff first more than anything else. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy situation really, because Jorge Lorenzo has been disappointing this year. Like, Dovizioso has more points than he does in the championship right now, and he's on that very substandard Ducati team. So I kind of feel for him. a little bit, because it's been Lorenzo's first bad year in MotoGP. Like, he debuted as a rookie, came 4th in the championship, and has had second and firsts every other time since then. Like, the last 5 years, he's finished either first or second in the championship. He's constantly stayed healthy, and he's constantly been at the top until this season. Maybe he'll come back down the stretch like he did last year, but yeesh. But, you know, Gillen made some decent points.
This is Gavin
saying, you know, shouldn't they be looking for the next Marquez? Why when they've already got one? You know, like I said, I'm not entirely sure that's the right thing to do. Personally, just my opinion. I think Honda's setup is not broken, so why try and fix it? You know, just my opinion, at least. Like I said, I think a lot of this is down to fan obligation. Them saying things like, "Oh, you know, we've got to have the best guys for the best team." You know, people want to see young guys get a chance, but that's never really been the case in this sport. For the moment, like, only in the last 3 or 4 years have young guys even been getting more opportunities. And to be fair now, the way the field is, it's so loaded now that in some ways the young talent are forcing their way up the field. Look at Moto3 now and how much young talent is in this sport now. Alex Marquez, Alex Rins, Jack Miller, Romano Fenati, Efren Vasquez, even a guy like Enea Bastianini as well, and Anish Maslow. Yeah, Moto3 has got more talent than it's ever had right now. Whoops. Like, Moto3 has had more talent than it's ever had. And this is amazing considering that this is the division that lost Maverick Vinales, Luis Salon, and Jonas Volga all last season, and are still looking really good. In Moto2 right now, like I said, Rabat is dominating what's a weak division, but the rookies are all, you know, surpassing expectations. In fact, Maverick Vinales has been excellent this season. Luis Salon has shown tremendous improvement very quickly. And Jonas Volga's had his couple of moments to shine as well. So, you know, the young talent is forcing their way to contention more than anything else. You know, Marc Marquez is the flag bearer for a new era, for sure. I don't think anyone's got his talent that's out there at the moment, given how much of a dominant rider Marquez was. But, you know, there's some talent there. You know, guys like Maverick Vinales will get into the top seat, I'm sure of it. It's even nicer for them now that Suzuki are coming back next season. There's only 2 more factory seats next year. I wonder who'll get a hold of them. I wonder. That's going to be interesting to speculate over. I mean, I've read a lot of talk about Unleash getting one of the Suzuki seats if something doesn't open up for him. Again, interesting. Dovi might go to Suzuki. I've heard a lot. That's the James Toseland that he came out with during MotoGP's broadcasting in the UK, saying that Dovi's their top target. You know, Tito Rabat, where would he go to once he gets promoted? Which I'm adamant will happen. So there's a lot of talk about this. It's going to be interesting to see how this one works out. The Pedrosa thing is interesting. I mean, I've always said it, like, when is the right time to let an experienced rider go? And there's never an easy answer to that one. There really isn't. From the outside, I don't care. That's nice. Sweet. Right, next up, Isaac Vinales. But yeah, I'd love to hear your comments on this one, guys. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. As always, I love hearing your opinions. They're always varied. They're always interesting to speculate and read over as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. You know, and seeing, you know, fans speculate and react. Because like I said, if you get a chance, just check out the MotoGP Facebook page and see the comments on the post when they talk about Pedrosa getting the extension. You know, it's to say it's varied would be an understatement. Right, let's see if I can chase down the top line of this Calvo bike. This Calvo bike is actually pretty good. It's not quite top tier or anything, but you know, you've got to make it work, right? I said it before as well that you know that the PS4 controller I'm using definitely helps out the bike control because the triggers are much nicer on this controller than on. I actually prefer these to the 360 ones. These ones actually wrap around your fingers, which is actually quite a nice feature. These guys are actually quite quick around here. I can't get up there right now. There we go, right. Come on now. I just can't get up there. It's still a really fun race right now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's a bit of a corner cut on my part. Not sure much about how much it's just me being rusty. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm getting close to E7 though, which is quite nice. That's Isaac and the Isle, my team now, I think. Just 2 corners to go though, so I'm probably not going to get there in time. It's Bagnio and Isaac and the Isle at 7th. Fenati wins from Miller and wins. Marquez 4th, Vasquez 5th, Cornfeld 6th, Vinales 7th, Benaghi 8th, me in 9th. Not bad, not great. Looks like the other guy's development's starting to kick in now.
While we wait for the celebrations in Parc Ferme, here's the final classification.
Terrible or anything, but you know, Fenati back in the lead of the championship. And that's pretty much sealed that I'm not going to get there. I'm now in a fight for 3rd with Cornwell and Vinales, pretty much. Because I get to level 8, I'm unlocking a new helmet. Hooray! I've got 890 whole fans. Go me. Yeah, the thing is, I believe contracts you get in this game are based off number of fans, so you know, as Rabat continues to win in Moto 2 and Moto 3 Fenati wins, as Lorenzo actually gets one back. Marquez leads Lorenzo by 19 points in the championship in MotoGP. In Moto 2, Rabat has won every single race, has a 67-point lead on Kika Kallio, and in Moto 3, Romano Fenati's up by 3 points on Miller. Alright. With that, I'll end this episode off here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara.